Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back to the program, everybody, and you have answered the bell, as you good viewers of the Rod Pedersen Show always do. You got some fantastic questions that have come in for chem coats from all across North America. Such a popular star of stage, screen, and film, and a proud Sasky, and he joins us today. Well, now Clark's got his hand up and says no. What's happening, Clark? He just went to the washroom. Are you kidding me?
Nope, now we're back.
And now he says we're good.
Now he's in the drive.
Okay.
Are you doing this on purpose, Kim?
Yeah, I am. Every once in a while, a football player's just got to take one last little leak
I
before
got
he
you.
gets on the field.
It's funny you say that because one of the questions that came in here is Kim still playing hockey? You're at least a two-sport athlete. Are you still hitting the ice, hitting the gridiron? What are you doing for sports?
No, Rod, I'm far too old for that now.
Okay, fair. How are things?
Far too old. No, but I did get invited quite a few times. But how come I can't see you? I want to see you, Rod. I want to see your face.
There you
How do I get rid of me there, Scott?
click and drag it.
Click and drag it, the guys say. Click and drag it.
There you are. There
Okay.
you are. Hi, buddy. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm great. Great to see you again.
Nice to see you again. That seems like a long time ago now, huh?
What is that? A little over a year? Yeah, it has been a long time. As a matter of fact, can I jump in with my first question? Forget the fan questions.
Please.
You went and addressed the Rush after that game. I was too shy to. You weren't. And I didn't go into the room. What did you say to those guys? Because from what I hear, they were ready to literally run through the wall afterwards. What did you say?
You got to look it up on YouTube, Rod. It's
I know
all
it's
over
there.
YouTube. Just check it out. No, come on. It's my first lacrosse game I've ever been to. You hear a lot about the Saskatchewan Rush. We've got so many great teams in that beautiful little province, and to be able to win that game and go into the dressing room and talk to the troops for well over a minute, didn't get any jock straps thrown at me or beers thrown at me. It was a great experience, man. I had the greatest time. I hear we went and lost the next weekend, which was too bad. But come on, are those guys athletes or what? Like, how much fun is that to watch?
They're so tough. And the photo of you whispering over my shoulder, I told the viewers earlier, you said, they play music the whole effing game? And I'm like, yeah, it's amazing. It's so great. I think, and it's so awesome for Saskatoon, huh?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, and I think their season, I was talking to Clark yesterday, it's kind of now, which is, again, one of the real drags of this COVID thing going around. I mean, all the sports that we are now not being able to watch, and I know that's secondary to the first responders and the lives that we're losing in this crazy world right now. But to reflect on some of those good old times, we should never stop doing that.
No, not at all. Your fans want to know, and we do too, which we are part of your fan group. How are you doing? What are you doing? You keeping busy, keeping safe? What's the last 2 months been like for you?
I escaped America just in time. And I'm not even kidding. I mean, my beautiful daughter, who's trying to make a difference and save so many lives down in the Los Angeles area, good for her. I know that my buddies in America wish they were Canadian right now. I finished a big filming session over in Slovakia, and I finished it on May the 6th. I got out of there just in time, got to America, and I was supposed to do a movie in Toronto, which subsequently got canceled, obviously, because of the pandemic. And I had to decide, am I going to come to Canada for the next couple of months, or am I going to stay in LA? So I decided to come to Canada, and I've got, a few places, a couple places in the West, and I got a place out East, and can't tell you which one I'm in, but I'm having a great time doing nothing but gardening and running and biking and hitting a few chip shots off the grass and waiting for the golf season and waiting to just see what the summer brings. I'm not sure acting is going to be starting anytime soon.
I'm sure. Well, we're talking about the sports world, but what about that entertainment acting world? How's it affected your industry?
Yeah, I mean, it's affected us all. It's affected Broadway. It's affected all the theater. It's affected all these incredible artistic endeavors, music, concerts, films, TV. I mean, we could go on and on and on, like many other things in the world. So I'm not sure when it's all going to come back and what's it going to look like when it comes back. Like a lot of people, the producers that I talk to, it's all going to be about insurance, right? I mean, everyone's going to have to be tested, all the crew, the cast, and then who's going to insure a movie that's going to star Kim Coates and Rod Pedersen, and all of a sudden 2 weeks in, Rod comes down with the virus, or Kim Coates does. Who's going to insure that movie that has that chance that could happen? So I do think it's going to take some very special times of this lessening, and then having the tests available to get back to filming certain movies and TV shows to make sure everyone's safe on set. And I'm sure that will happen, but no one really knows when.
To the fun stuff, Coatsy, from the fans that I said to write in from all over North America. CJ in Texas writes in with a
North America, Rod. Are you over North America, Rod? Is that how big you become now?
We're global, baby. Well, you were just in Slovakia, so you know what it's like. We call ourselves the new Mr. Worldwide, by the way. We have 19 viewers in Norway every day.
Beautiful.
Anyways, from CJ in Texas, any news for Bad Blood 3?
No. CJ, I'm sorry to report. Like, that's a big effing no. Last year, my people who follow me on Twitter and people who, when I do, great little interviews like this, they hear little tidbits of what I'm up to and what's going on. Last year was spent and dedicated with my co-producer, Mark Montefiore from New Metric, to try and get Bad Blood Season 3 going. And it was a tough slug because it's such a huge hit on Netflix, and Rogers produced it originally, co-produced it with us. And it was on a very strange time at 8 o'clock at night on Thursday nights. And a lot of people taped the show, and that didn't count towards the numbers. And even though we won all those awards and it was just so critically acclaimed around the world, we couldn't come to an agreement between Netflix and Rogers at the time. So I don't know where that's going. I'm just so proud of that frickin' show, to co-produce it and star in it, and all those incredible Canadian actors that I got to help cast and work alongside. And, Anthony LaPaoli, who played Vito, and Paul Servino. I mean, the list goes on and on. So at the moment, no. But you never know, right? You just got to move on and see what happens.
Montreal, such a wonderful backdrop for that series, too, by the way. Yeah, great job.
Yeah.
It should be 7 seasons, 8, 9, 10, not just 2. But you know that it'll be happening. By the way, I got a comment, and producer Clark, we can roll it into one. I'm in the same club with a guy that you went to high school with. His name's Danny, and he came to one of our meetings one day with a photocopy of your yearbook. You look virtually no different now than you did then. And I'll roll that into Clark's question. Your character on Sunday, you look no different, man, other than the glasses. But he said you were a hell of a quarterback. Anyways, he says, Sons of Anarchy, Tig, your character was known to do some pretty outrageous and over-the-line acts. Was that something you enjoyed as an actor, or was it difficult to prepare for? So how close are you in real life to Tig?
Zero. I can't. Zero. Look, I've been riding motorcycles my whole life, right? Started on the farm in Saskatchewan and little dirt bikes, then Kawasaki's my whole life until Sons of Anarchy that became Harley Davidsons. And I've got a few horses in my barn in LA, somewhere between 3 and 5 bikes. So you figure it out. All Harleys, very lucky to have them all. That was similar. I've never been a 1%er before, really. I saw some club action when I was in high school in Saskatoon, but I stayed away from that stuff. But we certainly got to meet Sonny Barger and a bunch of his boys, and I'll tell you what, it's a crazy life. And Tig was one of those characters that I never knew what Sutter was going to write. And so for him to come up with his phobias and his toughness and his caring stuff and the dog loving and the love with Venus at the end and becoming one of the moral compasses with Tommy Flanagan, who's so brilliant on that show. So that 7 years flew by, and I don't regret a minute of it. And we're all still very close friends. And some of the shit that happened on that show, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. So, yeah, well, Sons of Anarchy, what a hit.
Speaking of, so D. Silva writes in on Facebook, and she says, What did Tig Traeger whisper into Jax's ear in the final scenes?
I can't tell you. I can't. What am I, an idiot? Don't answer that. No, I can't tell you that. Everyone asks me that, and that's between Charlie and me, and I'll never tell you. So, but come on. What a crashing final season, right? So violent, so nuts. Kurt Sutter went right off the rails in that seventh season. And we filmed that last episode in sequence. And you never film things in sequence, Rod. You're a movie star. You know what I'm talking about.
Of course.
You don't film in sequence. Clark, you know what I'm talking about. Jordan,
Post-production.
right?
Yeah.
Post-production. So you shoot it out of sequence. Kurt Sutter, who directed that final episode, we shot from the very first scene to the very last scene. So that whisper, that day, was the actual last day that any of us actors who were still left on that show to see Charlie alive. And so it was filled with emotion, as you can imagine.
Lot of questions coming in about your role as the coach in the movie Goon. What was it like to be in a sports film, A, and hockey, B?
Yeah, I was on the set of Sons when I got the call from my Canadian agent, Gail Abrams, and she said, they're doing a hockey movie. You're far too old to be a player, but they want you to play the lead head coach, Ron Hortense. Michael Dowse is directing. Jay Baruchel wrote the thing. Oh my God, the actors that they had involved. I said, do I even have to get paid? Of course I'll do it. Yes. Can't wait. Read the script and went, I'm in. But I gotta have the Adidas or Nike or whatever their sweatpants and sweat tops are. I got to have a set of that, and I got to make sure that I'm skating in this movie. And they said, absolutely. So I brought my old CCM Super Tax that I've kept all these years, Rod. Brought my old co-host sticks. Damn, that was fun. I mean, we had real hockey players on there, you know. George Laraque came on, tossed the gloves with Lieb Schreiber. What a fun movie to be involved in.
Really, really good guys, for sure. And by the way, do you hear about Georges Laraque battling coronavirus, hospitalized with it in Montreal? Did you see that in the news?
I did, and it's. I texted him the other day, and it really touches home, right? I mean, it just really touches home. It's funny how many people ask me, "Do you know anyone?" or "Do you?" And I've been very fortunate to not have a lot of close personal connection with anyone with the virus. And George was my thoughts are out to him. Big hug.
Same from us. The thing with George is because he's such a physical beast, you thought that basically, what do they say? The elderly and the vulnerable are the most vulnerable. If it can hurt George and take him down, what is it doing to the average man? You know, and George.
Well, that's why we're.
Yeah.
That's why, Rod. That's why we're at where we're at. That's why America has become such a shit show. You know, thank goodness for the governors. Some of the governors down there who are taking this scientifically the way they should, the only way we can. No one wants to lose their jobs. No one wants to have no money because they can't work. That's so beyond my grasp, because I'm all right. I'm very fortunate, but I'm telling you what, and I feel for all those people. But this virus, it's weak in some, it's super strong in some. You can't predict it. Some. You know, we all thought it was just the elderly that were getting infected, but now we know that's not true. It can happen to anybody. So, yeah, I mean, in Quebec, I'm sad about Quebec. It's everywhere there. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's the hot spot up here for sure. Our director, Jordan, has a question. He's a racer by trade, auto racer. He says, what is your favorite motorcycle, and how often do you get out to ride?
You know, I've never really been a crotch rocket guy. My good buddy, Eric Bana, he's a Ducati guy. He's got a few of those in Australia, and I've never seen him race live, but I've seen videos of him racing and touching his knee and going way too fast for comfort. So that's a whole different animal. My wide glide, I've got well, maybe 4, but we'll keep it at, Harley's in my house. And my wide glide is pretty special to me. It's so loud. got this beautiful Harley little fairing on the front, and just takes a little bit of the wind off, but keeps you can sure feel the outside when you're on that thing, and it's just so loud and it's so fast, people know you're coming. So I'm a real Harley guy now, for sure.
We
I'm Rich
mentioned
Cote. Sorry, brother, but Redline Harley, right? I mean, in Saskatoon, Rich is my boy there, and every time I go home to Saskatoon, I always see Rich in his incredible shop there. He does a great job, and if I ever buy a bike and leave in Saskatoon, it's coming from that place.
right downtown, 2nd Avenue, just perfect location right there. Beautiful view. I won't keep you much longer, Kim, because we could be here all day. But Lee in England, we've officially gone global, baby, with the interview today. Lee says, we hope to see you back in England in the near future. Any plans, or is everything up in the air?
No, it's all up in the air now, right? I mean, it's just one of those times that it's just up in the air. So there's no plans on coming to England. And Rod, this Friday night in Saskatchewan, right? I mean, Stars, we're doing a huge country and western concert with so many people playing. Brett Kissel, George Canyon, the Hunter Brothers. I think you've got the info there, right?
Yes, I do. I'll read it. Yeah. Not only with all those fine acts, but on radio stations all across Western Canada. It's virtual. You can watch it. You can listen to it. How long has this been in the works? Because it seems pretty massive to me.
Yeah, Jerry Lynn Johnston from Stars organized this whole thing, and I was told about it through Lori Leach and Vaughn Wyant, who are with the Pegasus Project, which I'm one of the spokespeople for now with Stars Ambulance, trying to raise a lot of money. The COVID thing is cut into our campaigning, fundraisers across Western Canada. So we got to do a lot of things visually now over the internet, and that's what this weekend's all about. So there's gonna be tons of acts Friday night, and there'll be more of these during the summer. And I know it's a tough time now, right? People are in a tough spot with this pandemic, and we're trying to stay happy through this all and supportive, and that's what us Canadians do. And if you have $10, $20, whatever you might be able to contribute, please do, because as you know, Rod, Stars does an amazing job in our 3 western provinces, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, and everyone needs help with those helicopters to keep them flying. And I know we'll come to the bat for all of them.
You know what, Kim? We see the helicopter in the air far too many times. It tells you there's too many emergencies going on. And anybody that needs info can go to streamingforstars.ca. All the acts, all the radio stations, it'll be carried on Facebook as well. Kim's Facebook page. You guys are all a big part of this. And that's maybe how I'll wind this up. You mentioned the Hunter Brothers, the Saskatchewan acts. You were kind of a pioneer. And the Rough Riders, of course, you guys had still have a fantastic partnership for those Riderville parties in Vancouver. Here we go. Watch this. What are you putting on? What do you got? Oh, isn't that the sexiest hat?
I thought you were going to say, isn't the sexiest guy you've ever seen with a green hat on, Rod? I thought that's what you're going to say. Look at that hat, Rod. Look at that lid.
I bought one too. They're expensive. That is the CFL authentic retro version. I would
have bought it for you, Rod. I would have pitched in.
Oh, that is a gorgeous hat. I think not as good until you put it on. It's even more beautiful. How's that, Kim? But you're pretty proud of that relationship. I know that.
Well, I really am. And how about those 5 Huskies getting drafted in the CFL? I mean, what's going to happen, Rod? I mean, the Hilltops just continue to dominate. We know how to play football in Saskatchewan. The Riders have such an incredible team coming up this year. What's going to happen? Clark and I talked a bit. Like, what do you think, bro? Are we going to have a season? Is the NHL going to come back? Like, what's happening?
Well, I'll tell you what. We covered a lot of that off the start of the show. The NHL, Gary Bettman saying, come hell or high water, we're doing it. And in Canada, it sounds like they're playing in Toronto and Edmonton as quarantine cities. So there's that. It's going to be delayed. CFL, not looking good. And Canada West football, which the Huskies play in, they've shortened their season to 5 games starting in October. That's the plan right now. I think we got to have Canada West football. I got their helmet right here on the desk all the time. We're huge fans of Canada West football. So it is king here. There's no doubt. That Hilltop thing, by the way, was just their 7th straight championship. They won 7.
5th.
That was
in
7.
a row.
Well, that's
like my Red Wings being in the playoffs for 25 years, and then they finally hit the you-know-what wagon. It's about time. They needed to rebuild. But, yeah, how about those Hilltops? Good for them.
Are you a Wings fan because of Gordon Howe?
Yeah. Yeah. I call him Gordy, but you can call him Gordon. Yeah.
Right, because your buddies. Right.
Did you ever meet him, Rod? Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, I did when I was on the radio in Prince Albert.
Were you able to shake his hand? We can't shake hands anymore today in the world today. But did you shake his hand?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, was that not unbelievable? Like his mitt was the size of a baseball glove, and he grabbed when he found out I was from Saskatoon. He didn't let my hand go. It's like, okay, we got vice grips going on right now.
It's like,
yeah.
exactly.
It's unreal.
It's a great moment. Hey, Kim, let's do this again, please, and hope to see you on the screen soon with whatever you're doing. We're all following real close.
Thanks, buddy. Stay safe.
You too.
Pleasure.
You're watching Rod Pedersen on demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.